3 years ago, I would have laughed at anyone claiming medieval homes stayed warmer than modern houses. I spent decades paying $300 winter heating bills while shivering in my own living room. I thought that was just how heating worked. It is not how heating works. Medieval builders understood thermal mass storage, walls that absorb heat during the day and release it slowly for 12 hours. My modern drywall and fiberglass insulation stores zero heat. The moment my furnace stops running, the warmth disappears. Medieval families built heat batteries into their walls. I built monthly payment obligations into mine. Let's be absolutely clear. Medieval heating methods didn't disappear because they failed. They were systematically buried because they worked too well for modern profit models. Think about it. A heating system that costs nothing to operate cannot generate any portion of the $200 billion annual HVAC revenue. What cannot be sold monthly gets methodically erased from building knowledge. Anything that eliminates utility bills threatens two massive industries simultaneously: energy providers and HVAC manufacturers. The suppression wasn't accomplished through outright bans. It happened gradually through building codes, architectural education, and the normalization of systems requiring constant energy input. This is forbidden camping, where we crack open vaults, the construction industry locks shut. We unearth building techniques that corporations deliberately made you forget. These aren't conspiracy theories. They're documented historical methods that once kept our ancestors comfortable without monthly bills. If preserving this vanishing knowledge matters to you, subscribe and ring the bell. Every subscriber helps ensure these techniques aren't lost forever. The next revelation we'll uncover goes even deeper than this one, exposing even more profitable necessities that are anything but necessary. The evidence supporting medieval thermal efficiency is overwhelming. The University of Bath conducted a comprehensive study of medieval English cottages and found their thermal mass walls maintained consistent 65 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures, even when outside temperatures plummeted to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This wasn't anomalous. It was standard practice. Archaeological evidence from 14th century Scottish Highlands reveals homes with remarkably sophisticated zero-fuel heating systems. Their thick stone walls stored daytime heat for nighttime release, a thermal battery that cost nothing to operate. Modern scientific validation comes from MIT thermodynamics research, confirming that stone walls store 50 times more heat than modern drywall. The physics hasn't changed in 800 years, only our willingness to apply it. Medieval building records preserved in monastery archives document heating techniques that lasted for centuries without modification. The knowledge was so reliable that it was passed down through generations of builders without question. Even today, several modern Scandinavian countries still incorporate thermal mass principles, the same principles that American building codes have effectively banned through minimum R-value requirements that favor fiberglass over thermal storage materials. Our complete forbidden construction vault contains everything the building industry has systematically buried. We've documented ancient insulation methods using materials that cost virtually nothing, yet outperform modern alternatives costing $15 per square foot. You'll discover emergency shelter techniques that military units classified as too effective for civilian knowledge, methods that allow survival in extreme conditions without external energy input. The vault includes natural cooling systems that can eliminate air conditioning bills permanently, and water heating methods that medieval families used to stay comfortable year-round without gas or electricity. Everything is backed by historical documentation, physics principles, and practical applications. There's zero fluff, just actionable knowledge that breaks your dependency on monthly utility payments. By 1200 AD, Norman castle builders had perfected thermal mass heating in English stone keeps. These massive structures maintained livable temperatures with minimal fuel despite brutal winters. The key wasn't constant burning of fires, it was strategic heat storage in stone walls, 2 to 3 feet thick. Medieval monasteries heated enormous spaces with single central hearths and thermal mass walls. The Great Hall at Penshurst Place in Kent remains standing today, built in 1341, and demonstrates these principles perfectly. Its walls still store and release heat exactly as they did 700 years ago. 14th century Scandinavian longhouses utilized thermal mass floors that captured and stored ground heat. These floors, composed of stone slabs over clay beds, maintained temperatures well above freezing even during the Nordic winter. Scottish Highland cottages from the 1300s with their original thermal mass systems remain intact today. Some have been continuously inhabited for over 600 years with minimal modifications to their heating principles. What's most telling is that multiple civilizations independently discovered thermal mass storage across different continents. From Pueblo cliff dwellings to Chinese Kang bed stoves, the principle of storing heat in mass was universal human knowledge, until recently. The systematic erasure of thermal mass knowledge accelerated around 1950 when the American building industry consolidated around forced air heating systems, requiring monthly fuel payments. Post-war housing booms prioritized speed and standardization over thermal efficiency. Building codes gradually eliminated thermal mass requirements in favor of mechanical systems. R value became the only recognized measure of insulation, completely ignoring heat storage capacity. HVAC manufacturers lobbied aggressively for codes requiring ductwork and furnaces, regardless of building design or climate. The argument was framed around modern comfort standards, conveniently ignoring that medieval thermal mass systems provided more consistent comfort than cycling forced air systems. The insulation industry promoted barrier methods over thermal storage to create replacement cycles. Fiberglass deteriorates and settles over time, ensuring eventual replacement. Stone walls don't deteriorate over centuries. Modern architectural education now almost completely ignores thermal mass principles, focusing instead on systems that generate recurring revenue through energy consumption. Most architects today couldn't design an efficiently heated passive structure if their careers depended on it. The physics is straightforward. Stone and clay absorb heat slowly and release it over 12 to 18 hours. This creates a thermal flywheel effect that maintains constant temperatures despite external fluctuations. The specific heat capacity difference between stone and modern drywall is staggering. Stone can store approximately 1,000 times more thermal energy per volume. Your drywall walls are essentially thermal sieves, allowing heat to escape almost instantly. Radiant heat transfer from thermal mass walls keeps humans comfortable at lower air temperatures than forced air. This is why medieval structures could maintain comfort at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, while modern homes feel chilly at 68 degrees Fahrenheit with forced air heat. Central hearth designs create natural convection currents that distribute heat through thermal mass walls. This simple physics principle eliminated the need for mechanical distribution systems. Modern insulation focuses solely on blocking heat transfer, but stores zero energy for later release. It's like having a water tank with excellent walls, but no capacity to hold water. The moment your energy input stops, comfort disappears. The global HVAC market is valued at approximately $200 billion annually and is projected to reach $350 billion by 2030. Every degree of temperature difference between inside and outside represents billions in profit potential. The genius of the modern heating model is its recurring revenue. Monthly gas or electric bills, plus system maintenance and replacement every 15 to 20 years. A thermal mass heating system, once built, generates zero ongoing revenue. You cannot patent stone, clay, or basic physics principles that have been used for 800 years. There's no intellectual property to protect, no planned obsolescence to engineer, and no subscription model to implement. Building codes are largely written by industry associations that ensure mechanical heating system requirements. The National Mechanical Code references standards developed by the Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Institute, a trade organization representing manufacturers. To be fair, thermal mass heating isn't perfect for all situations. It requires specific climate conditions and building orientation to maximize solar gain. It works best in climates with significant day-night temperature swings. Initial construction costs are higher due to thicker walls and specialized masonry work. You're essentially building a heat battery into your structure, which requires more material than conventional framing. These systems aren't suitable for all architectural styles or urban density requirements. You need space for proper thermal mass walls, which conflicts with maximizing floor area on expensive urban lots. Optimal performance requires understanding solar gain and thermal dynamics. This knowledge has been systematically removed from construction education, making implementation challenging. Modern safety codes may require backup heating systems, regardless of thermal mass efficiency, which can duplicate costs for builders trying to implement these principles. For those brave enough to implement these principles, source thermal mass materials for 18 to 24-inch stone or rammed earth walls, primarily on south-facing exposures to capture maximum solar gain. Calculate central hearth placement based on the thermal mass radius for even heat distribution. Medieval builders positioned hearths to maximize convection currents throughout the structure. Use clay mortar recipes with local materials as documented by medieval builders. These allow thermal transfer between stones while maintaining structural integrity. Implement thermal mass floor systems using stone or clay tiles over an insulated base. These store heat from both solar gain and the central heat source. The key is intelligent integration with modern building codes while preserving thermal mass principles. This often means building a conventional structure on paper while incorporating thermal mass elements that building inspectors recognize as decorative features. Consider this real-world example. A modern homeowner in Vermont built a thermal mass addition to their conventional home. Their heating costs dropped by 80% the first winter. This translated to an annual heating bill reduction from $2,400 to approximately $400 using medieval thermal mass principles. The construction cost $8,000 more than conventional framing, but eliminated most of their monthly heating bills. The family reports more consistent, comfortable temperatures than their previous forced air system provided. Most importantly, the thermal mass walls continue radiating heat 8 hours after their fire goes out, maintaining comfort throughout the night without burning additional fuel. This knowledge never truly disappeared. It was systematically removed from building education. Medieval families heated homes for free, while modern families collectively pay $200 billion annually for the privilege of staying warm. Your grandmother understood thermal mass heating intuitively before the HVAC industry buried this knowledge. The techniques still work exactly as they did 700 years ago because physics doesn't change based on corporate profit models. Today's building codes ensure you cannot legally build what medieval peasants constructed for basic survival. Think about that paradox. We've regressed to the point where peasant knowledge is forbidden to modern homeowners. Subscribe and share to preserve what the construction industry tried to erase. Every share breaks their monopoly on heating knowledge one person at a time. The complete vault link in the description contains everything they spent decades burying, techniques that work as effectively today as they did centuries ago. Ring the bell because the next vault we open reveals even more suppressed building techniques. The next secret makes this thermal mass discovery look like basic introduction, and I promise you won't want to miss it.